Hey, I've got a question for you. Who would want to run a church at the edge of hell? That is not as crazy a question as it sounds like. And in fact, if you stick around, I'm going to show you one. Over 100 years ago in England, there was a famous missionary, and his name was C.T. Studd. And there's a quote from him that endures to this day. It's so cool. And he said, look, most Christians want to work around the sound of chapel bells, where it's safe, where there's other Christians, right? He said, for me, he says, I want to run a mission. I want to plant a church at the edge of hell where we're rescuing souls. And that ethos is so cool. I mean, that really captures, I think, a lot of who we are at ICC. You know, we want to work at the front lines. We want to find the people who are willing to risk it all for the gospel. They're completely sold out. And this Easter, we were at a church in Nigeria, and it really made me think of all this. So one of our staff was there and celebrating Easter at this church. And this church has been through a lot in a very special place. So for the last 2 years, they've been attacked. They're in Plateau State, and that's a battleground for the Fulanis that are decimating. These are Islamist terrorists, and it's a massive land grab. They've just taken millions of farms away from Christians. So these guys had already been attacked the last 2 Easters, and a lot of people had died. And, so a very dangerous place. But the cool thing when you're at this church, and this is what our staffer said, you look at these pictures, it's so cool. Because you're at the church and you're worshiping, and yet you look up and there's nothing but sky. Because that church was burned, it was attacked, and all that stands are the walls. And, we talked to the pastor, and we said kind of like, this is kind of crazy. For most people, they would think, what are you doing? Why are you still here? And he said he had no qualms about being, in such a dangerous spot. But they had a mission from God. And he says, we've got to stay on point. These are the last days. And he really believed that and really formed his mission. And then we talked to the church leaders, and they said, a lot of people left, of course. It's so dangerous. We've been attacked twice. There's no roof. But what happened was that the people that stayed behind, those people that had that mission that would risk it all, those people grew so tight and they grew so dependent on the Lord. And that is such the message of persecution, isn't it? So when we find people like that, oh, and by the way, they also said that a lot of people were wanting to had come back because they saw what the Lord was doing in the community and saw how tight they were. So a lot of people have come back. But those are the people that are running a church and running a mission at the edge of hell. And those are the people we look for all over the world. We find church planners, etc., and we get behind, we find these people because we know the gospel will go out if we can find people like that. So anyways, we're going to help rebuild the roof on this church. If that's something you want to do, we're going to put notes in either down below or up on the screen of how to donate. But basically, you're going to go to the ICC website, persecution.org, and just go to the donate button. And there's a spot where you can put notes in and just say, church without a roof, Nigeria church, anything like that. We're going to know. And that money gets segregated, so it's just for that project. But anyways, God bless you. Thank you for caring about the persecuted church, and let their message sink into your heart. Okay? God bless you.